Hi, everybody, and welcome to Gen Friends. I am your host, Cheri Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and we have a special show tonight. We have our Black team from Relative Race. Team Black is joining us and some of their cousins. Before I move on to them and introduce them, let me go ahead and introduce our other panelists. We have Terry O'Connell, who is the Executive Director for the In-Depth Genealogist. Hi, Terry.
Hey, Cheri, how are you?
I am really good. I am happy tonight. This is going to be a fun show. Definitely going to be fun. And we've got Mary Kircher-Roddy from MKR Genealogy. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Terry and Cheri. Nice to be here. Terry.
The Mary, Terry, Cheri show. Unless somebody else shows up again. All right. Now, as you can see on our panel list, we have got Joe and Jerica, Team Black from Relative Race. Hello. Yay! Oh, see, they're so cute. They're just as cute as they were on the show. And they brought along some of their cousins from episode 4. We've got Marti and Shannon. Hey! Hey! Live from North Carolina. We're so happy. We're so happy to have y'all here tonight. We have loved watching the show. Joe and Jerica, you have been the comic relief the whole season. I know that you enjoyed meeting your relatives. I know you had a really good time, but it was just really funny. And I think we needed some comic relief because there was so much intense stuff going on. You know, people finding their dads and their moms, and their, just so much emotion that it was so fun to watch you guys try to mountain bike. Apparently people ride their bikes in the mountains. Who would mind me quoting? So let's get started with some questions. I wanted to start out with asking cousins, how on earth did they find you, and what did you think when you get this weird message? We have people that are connected to you, and they want to come spend the night. You don't know them, but they want to come stay with you.
Yeah, it was through the Ancestry website, and they contacted us on the messages and just said that we were related to some contestants on Relative Race. And I mean, we talked about it, and we're like, "Is this real?"
See, that's what I would have thought. I would have thought, "Is this?"
They were real hesitant. They were like, "I don't know about this." Yeah. And so we did do some search, some Google search to make sure that it was a real show, so that we knew that it wasn't just somebody trying to catfish us or anything.
That's terrible.
Ancestry's latest update, catfishing.
A new show. So what did you know about them before they showed up? Nothing? Do you know anything about these two people who are coming to stay with you?
We know a little. It just really basics. You know, I think before they came, we just knew their first names, and just. That was pretty much it. We knew their first names, and we knew they were siblings. Yeah.
Did you know how old they were?
We had an idea. I think she had told us they were young. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were about my daughter's age, so that ended up being pretty perfect. So, but yeah.
And then how did you choose the challenge? Or not challenge, excuse me, the activity. How did you? Because you didn't know anything about that. It was a perfect activity, but how did you choose it?
So they wanted to choose. They wanted to us to do something that was representative of our area, and we do live in a rural county, and so I had a friend who lives next door to the alpaca farm, and I had always seen their pictures on Facebook, and I was like, I've got to go there. I want to go there so bad. So when we got this opportunity, I thought that's the place to go. And I mean, little did we know how perfect it was going to be. I mean, we had no idea. I mean, we could not have picked a better place. Yeah, I was going to say that couldn't have been a better setup if we tried.
You're absolutely right. It almost looked set up like you had seen them before.
No.
Exactly. Well, Joe, you hadn't been feeling good before you got there. You had been sick before.
That's correct. Yeah, it was following me pretty much all day. but it eased up during the challenge, but then it kind of would come and go in waves. But about the time we were getting to our relatives was when I was actually starting to feel back to normal again.
And they were so nice and fed you some soup and some crackers. So what is it like? What is it like? You know, you're going all day in that car, and then you show up at these people's homes. I mean, is it nerve-wracking a little bit, Jerica? Is it or are you just so caught up in just trying to get there and get that time to stop that you can't even think about what if these are crazy people?
So most of the day I'm focused on just surviving the day, right? So I'm focused on navigating, I'm focused on making sure we can do our challenges quickly and efficiently as we can. But at the end of the day, when we're about to meet the relatives, there is this sense of like, I wonder who they are. Like, and most of the time I will say the first few days were a little nerve-wracking because you didn't know who you were going to meet, and you were always wondering who's going to be behind the door. But after the first couple, I began to realize, you know what? This is really awesome. We have met amazing people, and I kind of just let that go, and then I wasn't worried anymore. I wasn't worried about who was going to be behind the door. I just was excited to see who it was going to be. So I think as we went along.
That's another story.
Everything is peachy. That's right.
You got to be careful. You got some on the panel tonight. You got to be careful what you say because you still want to have, you still want to have this relationship afterwards. Hopeful.
After they met us, it's like, okay, we can't get any worse.
I think that y'all lucked out and had some really good relatives that you were able to connect with, and you had some awesome experiences.
Absolutely.
And so many firsts. I was a little shocked at how many firsts you had. I think we all were. But watching you enjoy learning the new things was hysterical. You know, what did you learned to go tubing on a river, and you learned that there weren't sharks in the river. And what else? Of all what do you think of all the things that you did? It's probably hard to choose which activity, new thing that you did was the most fun, or probably hard.
Yeah,
the most fun.
Super hard. We really enjoyed every challenge, or not the challenges per se. Actually, we didn't. Really
some of
enjoy
them we actually had a blast with.
That's true. Some of them
which
were
I don't
fun.
think you're supposed to, but
But I'd say the activities overall, we really enjoyed all the activities.
Even honestly, day one, I know you were mentioning like it took us some time to get like used. Honestly, I think the very first day was probably the hardest for me, just not knowing what to expect. But Taylor and Dalton were just so like kind and welcoming. And I think they were just what we needed to like make us realize how special this journey is going to be. And even like with the whole ninja course we did together, you know, obviously it's a funny reaction to be like, they're going to do this. But it was actually a lot of fun. And even those things that people are probably thinking, no, they're not going to like this. We actually had so much fun because we were just, you know, laughing with our relatives, and it was like a good bonding experience.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been asking all the questions. Terry or Mary, what would you like to ask? So I'm not monopolizing all the questions.
Well, all right, I have a couple questions.
All right.
So when was the last time you had your car washed, Joe?
Maybe a week ago. I don't know.
That long, huh?
It's been a while.
That's the laundry.
Okay, and then the real one that I wanted to know is, so when you're home and the show is airing and you guys are watching it, what kind of surprised you about the other teams? How much did you know before you saw, it on TV?
So for us, at the end of the day, the Skype call is pretty much all we know about the other team's days. We have like a summary of what happened to them or what their experience was, but a lot of it is it's a very short summary of what really happened. So watching the show through that perspective was really neat to see what they went through, their days, and how that looked for them was really, really fun.
Yeah, even seeing like the personalities come through and the challenges, because we know what it was like for us to experience all those things. But when you see it for different personalities and stuff, it's really fun.
Cool.
Did you get to watch it before it aired? Did they get to let you guys watch the season once it was done before it aired? Or when you were live tweeting, were you really live tweeting and you
we get to see it for the first time when you guys get to see it.
Okay.
And they do it for that reason, for whether it's live tweeting or anything like that. They just want it to sort of, I guess, have the fans experiencing it with us.
Sure. And we appreciated that too. that was a lot of fun. Cheri, what did you want to ask?
So I guess for Joe and Jerica, being that you're younger, you know, you're the ages of the cousins' kids, and you went out and you did all these great things and met all these great family members. When you came home, what was the conversations like with your family and giving them all this information that you found out about family, all the new cousins that you met?
Yeah. So I think probably one of the biggest things coming back home was getting to share the recording of our grandfather's voice with my dad, who hadn't heard his dad's voice in, decades. And so that was probably the most touching and most meaningful thing we got to share with our parents. But then also we FaceTimed with our cousins, some of our cousins with our parents so that they can meet them. Like they've met Marti and Shannon already through FaceTime. And they've met at least one of our other cousins in person.
Yeah, Adam came to visit us.
Yeah, so we've been sharing as much as we can with our family and letting them experience relative race for themselves as well.
Yeah, I think the things that were most surprising to them when they watched it were like the not car accident, but getting run off the road, or like little moments like that throughout that we didn't necessarily tell them all of those things. So when they're watching it for the first time, I think that's interesting. But they obviously knew a lot about the relatives we met.
Awesome.
That was a scary moment. That was a scary moment for us watching. I can't imagine what was going through your head.
Yeah, it actually was interesting because Joe handled it so calmly, so professionally, got over.
Well, it wasn't me, weirdly. Like, I'm a panicker, so my natural instinct would not have been to.
What? Are you an overreactor?
No. Please.
Yeah,
it was kind of surprising that we stayed calm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad nothing happened because, what would they have done? I know they've got 2 cars. I mean, if you'd had a fender bender, I mean, I'm glad you didn't get hurt. There wasn't anything worse, but I guess you would have had to sit there and wait for another car, and then there goes your time.
Yeah. And no team wants to experience that on relative race, and just knowing now what does that put the producers through of them trying to problem solve the situation. So like,
exactly.
And
we were wondering when we watched it if any of the producers on site got the license plate and reported that Direct tried to run you off the road.
I
don't know that they actually saw it like physically.
Yeah,
it was so fast.
So,
it just happened so fast. But.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the person, will start, tweeting, "I'm the one that tried to run him off the road. I'm sorry," or something. Could be their claim to fame. I don't know.
Right.
We were worried about you. So.
Yeah. Well, thankfully we had lots of family and friends praying for us, and we had a calm assurance that all would be well, even in the tough moments.
Right. Of all the challenges that you did, is there one that you would like? We talked about the whole time, and you probably heard us say, "This would be so good for a family reunion. This would be so good for a family reunion." Is there one you'd like to do again? Maybe at a family reunion, or are you just really glad they're all over?
Like, what was the most fun?
I know I wouldn't want to do the water balloon challenge ever.
By far.
Ever again. Never.
I don't even want to hear the words water balloon. I would say it's between we enjoyed the acting one for sure.
Yeah, acting out was super fun.
And even the lip reading one.
Lip reading one was fun.
Y'all were good with those.
I actually enjoyed the science one too, with the balloons.
Yeah, yeah.
Bigger than me.
Yeah, those were they were big. I don't know where they got those things. Yeah,
they were giant balloons. They were huge. So, but yeah, I don't know. I liked a lot of the challenges. I mean, in the moment, it was stressful.
And I think it would be fun to do them again off the clock.
Off the clock. Yeah, exactly. As you were watching it, Marti and Shannon, what were your thoughts going through as you were watching them and seeing the things they had done before they got, to you, and then afterwards? How were you? Because you didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, you knew what happened at your house,
right?
And that was it. So how was it for you watching it?
Well, it was kind of fun because we involved both sides of our family. We have all of our family down in Mississippi, Alabama, and so we reached out to them and we did this whole big family chat. And we never told them what side of the family Joe and Jerica were from. So every episode we all logged in and we're chatting each other. And it was always funny because we always had them guessing which side of the family. And I think there was like one or two people that had it right. The rest of them had it completely wrong. And then it was bragging rights for my dad's sister. Once we found out that it was on my dad's side, she's like, yes, they're on my side. But it was really fun. It was a big bonding time even for our extended family, and they felt vested, and they just all fell in love with Joe and Jerica. It was funny because Joe told me at one point that he was getting a lot of friend requests that were similar to me and Shannon, and it was our aunts and uncles requesting to be friends.
And when she says a lot, I mean like 50 people.
Your Facebook just blew up, huh?
we may have a few family members, but it was a lot of fun to be able to experience it with them and our parents. And then the night of the episode that we were in, our parents we all gathered at Shannon's house, which is where we stayed, and we watched it. And Shannon had bought everything that was black. Blackberries, cake with black icing, and any kind of drink. What was it? Black cherry.
Yeah,
black cherry soda. And so everything was black themed. And it was on the front door whenever I came to Shannon's house. It says, if you're not pulling for black team, don't even come in.
That is so funny. I wonder what your neighbors thought. They must have thought there's some kind of weight going on.
Well, they did know before we had to tape because Shannon was giving them a heads up. And it was funny. We were out front in Shannon's house, and all of her neighbors were mowing their grass the day before, just in case. Doing little, just kind of tidying up their place, just in case it was seen on TV.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
But that's all right because Shannon also had a lot of free labor. She had me and Mom and Dad out front. I repainted her mailbox.
It was nice. It was great.
Well, sometimes things like this give you an excuse to clean up, right? I mean, your house is going to be on TV. Oh my gosh, we need to repaint.
There's a difference between everyday clean and TV clean. Yeah.
So how many people? Sorry, go ahead.
We also found it funny during our episode. It looked like a lot of our spoken word was in what was it? Caption. And I even had one of my cousins, comment, "Oh, country accent."
Nobody could understand y'all. That's why.
But it was funny because ours is the only episode that I saw captioning.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's not like their accent's that thick, but then I live in South Carolina, so kind of used to it. So how many people showed up at your house besides Joe and Jerica? You had to have one cameraman at least. How many people invaded your house?
Joe and Jerica, what was it?
Oh,
seven?
At least 7 or 8.
Yeah.
What?
And they were nice
They were
as
wonderful.
can be. We loved every single one of them.
Oh.
At one point, I thought one of them, it was going to be like this big joke of, surprise, I'm really your family member. He just fit in so well, and I thought, you've got to be just kin to us. There's no doubt. But they were so nice.
So if somebody else gets a, they're casting call for another season, and once they get them figured out and they start sending out messages, so you would tell people go ahead and do it, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. You would think when you have this many people come and basically take over your house that it would feel, you would just not feel right. But they made it so comfortable, and they were so respectful. And I mean, it was a great experience, a great experience.
At no time we never felt uncomfortable or anything. And we never felt like anything was going to be taken advantage of, or that we were going to be, brought in a bad light. They just wanted the best for Joe and Jerica.
Right.
I mean, they loved them. They spent every day together, and you could just tell that they just had.
Who wouldn't? I mean, look at that.
I know.
Wow.
Didn't somebody say last year they felt that their production team was their family by the time it ended? Because they were so close through that 10-day.
100%. Absolutely. They still are. Like, we still message them all the time.
I was just going to ask you, are you still in contact?
Yeah, we definitely are Facebook friends, Instagram, following each other's journeys and all of that. So we're in constant contact.
I just got an email from Dan the other day. He's like, I'm still waiting for you guys to come visit me. So we got to make a trip out there to visit everybody.
Now email him back and say, we really want to come. And this is the week of Roots Tech. So please call us.
Exactly. Tell him Jen Friend said he's been on the show. He knows who we are. You tell him that the ladies from Jen Friends said we need to be at Roots Tech. So, who knows? Maybe. We don't have any pull anywhere. You never know. You never know. We could start a campaign. Everybody watching, let's start a campaign. Anybody going to Redstone that's watching, start sending BYU TV, emails, and anybody you can think of. Find Dan's.
Page will blow up tomorrow.
Exactly. And then we're going to be in trouble. Oh my goodness. Anybody else have any questions? Is there anything that anybody wants to share about being on this season before we wrap up in a few minutes?
I have a question.
Okay.
So Joe, Jerica, cousins, all of you, now that you've been through this experience, you've learned little bits about the family. Has it made you more interested in learning more about your family, like really putting together that complete tree?
Yes.
I know for us it has, and me and Shannon are already trying to get together a weekend that we're going to go visit and sit with Joe and Jerica's mom. Since we know that she is our common ancestor, and we would love to be able to sit with her and show her what we found out and where we maybe connect. And just because we have gotten in touch with her, I've messaged her a time or two just through Messenger, and just love her just as much. I was FaceTiming with Joe the other day, and his mom was going through the hallway, and all of a sudden she caught a glimpse of me, and she backed up and came over in front of the camera. So, but me and Shannon want to be able to make that extra connection and show her exactly, because the side of the family that she connects to, we've actually got a lot of information already.
Wonderful.
From past family members that have traveled a lot to do a lot of the research for us.
Lovely.
We found out that we are DNA matches to Dawn from day 8.
Nice.
We want to get. We've been talking to her too, and want to meet up with her. Yep.
Lovely. And Joe, Jerica, what about you two?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think especially because we got so close to each of the relatives, and the connection was just so close that it really made us want to continue that and do the research. And so I know we've had ongoing discussions like with Adam and with a number of them, just trying to put more together online, and we have gotten places with that. So it'll be fun to keep uncovering that.
Lovely. Wonderful. Good to hear.
Yeah, that is
So
good to hear.
The other thing, we're wanting to see if maybe we're kin to Adam, because I went to school with Adam's sister.
That's the
cool.
Wow.
Yeah. From the day right after us, whenever they announced who he was, and I'm like, wait, we have a common friend, and his sister actually lives in our town, and I went to high school with her, and I messaged her. I said, "You're Adam's sister?" She goes, "I know. I saw you last week, and I couldn't say anything."
I love it. I love it.
And it's funny because going into this, I after Relative Race, I went and added all of the people on Facebook and stuff, and I saw some of those mutual friends between you guys, and I was like, oh my word, I wonder if they know each other and if the ones are on the same show together.
Well, no, you can go into Ancestry and click, when you go into your DNA results, you could search by last names.
Okay.
So,
Or geography.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go and look for those names of the other cousins.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was going to say, I didn't know you could do it by geographic area.
Yeah, you can actually pull a map up and you know, and zoom in and see where people are. It's new.
I was going to say, it must be a new feature.
It's the newest thing I've only seen it recently.
Okay.
New to me.
Oh, I love you guys. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Joe and Jerica, I have to tell you, one of my most favorite things that you did starting day one was to put the pictures, how you decorated the car. I loved that. That was so wonderful. Just what a great idea. Just to make a connection the whole time with each person that you met and have that. I think the saddest thing over the whole season was you taking it out of the car.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was tough. I almost teared up. So
that was probably the hardest moment for us too. It wasn't so much finding out the news; it was like the aftermath of taking down because that was our little home, you know. And
that was your home. How soon after you got the news were you out of there?
We were asked to pack up our car pretty immediately.
Right after this got home.
Yeah, and then we did spend the night there. So
yeah, it was late.
It was late.
I wasn't out of here to the airport right now.
We have your car ready to pick you up.
Well, they did that one season, and I felt so bad for the team that got eliminated, and they had to leave immediately. And my heart was broken for them that year.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I know we've talked to several people, you know, from the show and stuff, and said, you know, how grateful that we've been with this season that they let you have more time. They let everybody have more time with their relatives. There was one less challenge, so there was only the one challenge this year, and then you got there quicker. So
yeah,
there's
not
much
so much
more
time on the road.
Yeah, not so
I
much
had
time on
a
the road.
question, Joe and Jerica. As filmmakers, is there anything that you experienced that you are envisioning incorporating in one of your films?
Right now I am writing another screenplay. I have been for about the last year, so it's nowhere near completion. But I will say learning about my grandfather's band was very interesting and something that, even if it's not specifically his band, something with that to inspire a character or a part of a story, I could totally see it being an inspiration for something in the future. But as far as any specific ideas, not yet. Okay. But I'm always looking for stories. I'm always listening to what people have to say and what journey they're on, because it will feed into creativity and inspiration in some way, shape, or form.
You know, I want to say on that, after that episode when we chatted about your grandfather's voice and all that, I believe we talked about like that is definitely the perfect little story that you got to build on something for what you two both do.
Absolutely.
I think the other neat aspect of being filmmakers going into this was just sort of understanding the crew side and realizing, okay, they have a job and they need to tell a story, and it was very much a working together. It never felt like the crew against the competitors or anything like that. We just connected so well, and we understood why, they had to shoot things a certain way. And so I think that made it more enjoyable than if we had not had any idea what we were getting ourselves into.
Well, I just want to say, normally I'm the sucker for the good story. I love the people that are coming on and they're looking for their birth families or whatever. The emotion really gets it for me. And when we started out the season, I was definitely on that route, but you guys really made it very fun, very interesting. You kept us entertained each week. And I have to just tell you that you were so gracious when you found out that you weren't going to the final day and you said, we already won. We've met all the relatives, and that was our goal. The money, it's not about that. And it really just, I hope more people can watch that, and when they start, it's not about the money. It's about the story that you're getting from day one till the end.
Absolutely.
That's definitely the beauty of this show, and it becomes a journey because we do get so close to the other teams through the Skype calls and hearing their stories. So you get to this point where literally you almost stop caring about the money. Like, it almost completely, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, everyone, it would be nice if you want, it becomes so secondary that we were just as excited that Team Red and Team Green was going to day 10. We were like, yes, we're going to cheer you guys on. So I think that's sort of the beauty of this show that makes it different from your typical competition.
I absolutely agree. And, you know, a lot of times we've said, okay, this is our favorite team, or this is our favorite team. This is one of the seasons where we're like, we just love them all. You know, everybody has got a story to tell. Everybody is, everybody's our favorite. And so, of course, we were sad, day 9. We were in mourning for you. We were kind of hoping that there would be a way that all 3 of y'all could go to, but you know, it didn't work out that way. But
yeah, Red Team could have taken a fall for the win.
That's what we're thinking. Why can't Red Team take a fall so that all 3 of you? Oh well, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And at the end of the day, I think Joe and I felt satisfied and fulfilled, and that we had a lot of new experiences, and we had a lot of challenges, and we proved that we could win. You know, there were days we definitely won, and those were our good days, and we persevered through the hard days. And I think that in and of itself to us was fulfilling to know, you know, even small accomplishments, even just one day wins, those are big deals. Those are still wins, and they're confidence builders. And we definitely felt built up through the process of knowing the things we didn't think we could do, we were able to overcome and actually do them. And so, and like Joe said, it really was, at the end of the day, the money wasn't our motivator, the family was. Like, we wanted to make it to day 10 just to meet our family. And at the end of the day, that's what we were so thankful for, the journey, and to be able to meet so many new people to have in our lives from now until whenever, for forever. So
it definitely ended on a good note in that way.
You know, another way I think that you won was your siblings, and you got along so well. I mean, I thought during the whole season, if 2 of my kids were in a car together for that long, I don't think maybe till the end of the first day, let alone 9 days without, you know, nobody punched each other. Of course, you know, there was editing, but, you know, I mean, y'all got along and you worked really well together. You're laughing like there's things I don't know.
No, it was interesting.
Believe it or not,
we definitely thought we would fight more.
Oh, yeah.
We thought we really did. Because we're siblings. We fight. You know, there's not every day that we're this nice and kind to each other. Like, we try and we do our best, but there are days, you know, it just doesn't happen. But I honestly feel like we really were focused on communicating and doing the best we could. So that took that pressure, or that you know, the tendency to fight was just kind of secondary, and we really weren't focused on that. And we were very focused on how can we build each other up? How can we work together through this? How can we build better communication? And also, Joe and I worked with each other for a lot of years. So our fighting days are kind of in the past, so to speak. We've kind of grown through that. We've learned how we communicate with each other.
Right, that's the key, is how, because I think we know each other's personalities so well. She knows when I get quiet what that means, and it means something totally different from when she gets quiet. So it's like this sort of mutually working together with our moods. And like, we also realized going into this that, and quickly, even more so as we started the journey, that relative race is such an amazing journey, and it's life-changing, it's special, and you can't even put it into words. So we really just wanted to get, this might sound weird, but like sort of make the most out of every moment and just enjoy it, because we realized, you know, in a couple of days, this is all going to be over, and we're going to wish we're still doing it. So I think that that helped, just being appreciative of every moment, I guess.
Oh, that's wonderful. Did you get a chance to watch any of the seasons before you went on? So were you, it sounds like you really kind of understood, you know, the focus and what the show was all about before you even started day one.
Yeah, we actually were fans of the show before we ever auditioned. So we had seen all the episodes.
From the very first episode of season 1. And the funny thing is, because it was shot several months before it aired, obviously, we watched the final episode of season 3 the week that we left to shoot our season.
Wow.
So watching day 10 and realizing, oh my word, that's going to be us in a few days doing all this crazy stuff. Like, obviously we knew it would be different for each season, but just the thought of, you know, it was kind of perfect timing in that sense to get mentally prepared.
So cool. That's so great. I just, we could talk to you all night. I mean, we really could. We just appreciate you so much coming on and sharing your experiences. If you have any last words, Joe or Jerica, or Marti and Shannon, go right ahead, and then we'll have to say goodbye, although we don't want to. So.
I think, first of all, like, Joe and I are just, like we've said over and over again, we're so thankful that we've had this experience. We're so thankful for Marti and Shannon. We're so thankful for all of our cousins that we've met along the journey. And we're thankful also for all of our fans who have been so encouraging and so uplifting and kind in the comment section.
We read those comments.
Yes, and then also laughing with us.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely were not trying to put on the comedy, but we knew, you know, we were going to be funny, and that was okay. We were embracing that as our role to uplift and hopefully lighten everybody's day. And so, you know, we're glad when you smile and laugh with us, and we're not offended when you laugh with us at all.
And that's what we're laughing with you, not at you. We're laughing with you.
You can laugh at us too, because we laugh at ourselves all the time. And that was the hardest part about some of our challenges, is
it's so
laughing
true.
at ourselves.
The acting one especially, like, we on the clock, we would just like die laughing for a minute straight, and we're like, we got to get it together. It was too funny.
It was.
And also thankful for the crew, everyone at BYU TV and Lensworks production, literally every single person that we interacted with was just some of the most genuine and kind, loving people you'd ever want to meet. So to go on the journey with them, and I know when you're watching the show, you don't always see that side of it, but I think it's just so important to remember all the hard work, even like with Genealogist and like all the leading up to the show. And so that's what my mind keeps going to. It's just the fact to even make all of this possible. It's some really special people behind the scenes. So.
Exactly. And thank you for thanking them too, because you're right. There is a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see, so that we can have these wonderful experiences watching you. Shannon and Marti, what about you? Any parting words? You want to say goodbye to Joe and Jerica?
Believe me, it's not going to be goodbye.
No.
We're going to hop back on.
They're stuck with us now. Yeah, now they can't get rid of us. You know, the big thing is that I thank Relative Race and everybody for really including us, and y'all including us on this web chat, because we do just absolutely adore Joe and Jerica from the time that they came up the sidewalk, and then they came back and visited for a little bit longer and met my mom and dad, or our mom and dad, not just mine. The DNA shows that we all match. Yeah. I've been trying to tell her that she wasn't my sister for a long time. Now there's no secrets. But, you know, we just really appreciate being a part of this whole journey. And, you know, we're vested, and they are not going to get rid of us. So even when we finish with this, it's not goodbye, because we're just going to stay in touch with them. And next thing you know, we're going to show up at somebody's door.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to be planning a road trip soon.
Yeah. So, but no, the crew, everybody, you know, and like Joe and Jerica were saying, they were in touch with us weeks beforehand, and, you know, preparing us for everything and making sure everything was taken care of. And they were just absolutely fantastic. We knew them before they walked in the door. So
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Mary and Cheri, any last parting words before we end?
Not for me.
Okay.
But thanks for coming. It's been great to hear you guys' stories.
Definitely.
Well, with that, we'll need to end for tonight and say goodbye to everybody. And this has been Gen Friends, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
bye.